Hey there, it's Brian Powers over at Remax First. Want to talk to you for a few minutes about the real estate market and whether or not it's a good time to buy a home. Suze Orman, who's one of these famous personal finance self-help type gurus, made some noise last week when she made a statement about basically said if you're looking at buying a home right now, you should wait. You should wait until October or November. And I don't have a problem with that theory. Like if you think that this is not a good time to buy a house, if you think it's not the right time for you, you absolutely should wait because that's the right decision to make for you. It is a good time to buy a home. There's a lot of good things going on out there. Interest rates are incredibly low, and there's some other market conditions that are favorable for buyers. So if you're ready to buy a home, you absolutely should. But if you're not ready and you think you should wait, that's okay too. Don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with is somebody like Suze Orman, who's in a position of great influence over a lot of people, to make a decision or make a statement, trying to compel people to make a decision based off of fear and misinformation. And that's what I think she did. So what did she say? She essentially said that if you're thinking about buying a house right now, and in her example, it was a $300,000 house that you're looking to buy, right? So she said if you're looking to buy a $300,000 house today, you should wait until like October, November, because there's a chance if you buy that house today, because of coronavirus, another home in the neighborhood might get foreclosed on and then sell for $150,000 as a foreclosure. And now that house that you just bought for $300,000 is only going to be worth $150,000. There are so many problems with that statement. There's so many just factual errors and so much misinformation that I could talk for an hour about it, but I'm going to try to keep it to a few minutes. So let's kind of break it down real quick. Number one is there's not going to be this massive wave of foreclosures that hits the market because of coronavirus. Will there be some? Of course, there's always going to be some foreclosure activity out there, whether we have coronavirus or not. That's just the way the real estate market works. But Americans have a boatload of equity in their homes. 85% of homeowners in America have at least 20% equity in their home. So do you really think that we're going to see this massive wave of people just walk away from their homes because the going got tough during coronavirus and leave behind tens and tens of thousands, and in some cases hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity? No, it's not going to happen. And the fact that she would even put that out there tells me she didn't even really look at the data that's available for anybody to see that wants to see it. So that's the first problem I have with her statement. The second problem I have is this idea that even if there was a foreclosure in your neighborhood, that it would sell for 50 cents on the dollar. That is not the way foreclosure sales work. They rarely sell for 50 cents on the dollar. Sure, oftentimes there's a minor discount because it's a distressed sale, but we've actually seen in recent years, because it's such a strong seller's market, banks have actually started putting money into their foreclosed inventory to repair and update them before they put them back on the market, because they know in this market they're going to get a return on that investment. So we're actually seeing a lot of foreclosures sell right at or near market value, nowhere near 50 cents on the dollar. So the fact that she would say that just shows a fundamental lack of understanding of how the foreclosure market works. The third problem I have with her statement is, even, let's just play make-believe. Let's say there was a foreclosure in your neighborhood. Highly unlikely. Let's say it did sell for 50 cents on the dollar. Highly unlikely. Okay, let's say those two things happen. One or two distressed sales in your neighborhood is not going to suddenly make your home worth as much as those foreclosure sales. And the fact that she would put that out there shows that she has no real fundamental understanding of how home values work in everyday America. Okay? When we look for home values, we look for what's called comparable sales, right? Sales that are comparable to the subject property we're looking at. In the event there was a foreclosure that was in such a state of disrepair that it sold for 50 cents on the dollar compared to the going rate in that neighborhood, is there anything about that that sounds comparable to you? The answer is no. And because it's not comparable, it's not going to have any sort of impact on the value of your home. So I could go on, but I just wanted to kind of share some highlights with you over what I had a problem with in her statement. Like I said, she's very, very successful at what she does, but that doesn't mean she knows everything. And she clearly either doesn't really know what she's talking about when it comes to everyday home values, or she just chose to spread fear and misinformation to get a lot of attention for herself. And either way, I have a problem with it. So if you have questions about whether or not it's a good time to buy or even sell a home, let's talk about it. I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you why it's good. I'll tell you why you should be concerned. And we can make a decision on whether or not it's a good time for you. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what Suze Orman thinks. It matters what you think. It matters what your gut and what your instincts tell you on whether or not it's a good time to buy or sell a home. So reach out. Let's talk about it. Hope you're doing well, and have a great day.